Faulty lighting tubes may be to blame for a deadly blaze that killed 3 members of a family in a decades-old Monkok residential building. A 43-year-old man is arrested for allegedly threatening media outlets and operating a website backing activities that could endanger national security. And we will take a look at how New Yorkers battle through the rainstorm and floods ravaging the U.S. East Coast. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Quentin Yang. Faulty lighting tubes are believed to be the cause of a tragic home inferno in Monkok late last night, leaving 3 family members dead, including a 6-year-old boy and another seriously injured. Some evacuees recalled that no fire alarm was heard when the fire started. Evelyn Bai reports.
Firefighters received reports of a blaze at a low-floor unit at King Wong Mansion on Sai Street at around 11 p.m. on Thursday. Responders swiftly conducted rescue operations, finding an 80-year-old man in the kitchen and a 53-year-old man and a boy in the bathroom, all in unconscious state. Despite on-site cardiopulmonary resuscitation efforts, the 3 were later confirmed dead at Kwong Wah Hospital. A 75-year-old woman, the owner of the flat, survived the fire after firefighters found her calling for help near the flat window and rescued her. The remains of 2 cats were also found inside the flat. Dispatching 86 personnel, 14 fire trucks and 11 ambulances, firefighters extinguished the blaze by 11:49 p.m. Government chemists and forensic teams remained on scene throughout the day collecting evidence, including 3 fluorescent lighting tubes believed to be the cause of the fire. This resident living opposite to the burning flat reported that during the fire, white smoke continuously seeped through the door cracks into her apartment, accompanied by a strong burnt odor. The smoke forced her to stay at home with her young child and dog. She added that she did not hear any fire alarm at the time of the fire. This resident also stated the alert was silent, adding that it usually goes off loudly for no reason, but this time it did not sound at all. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
National Security Police arrested a man on suspicion of sedition and threatening media outlets. The 43-year-old local man, covered with a black hood, was taken away from police station. The case came to light in June when several media companies reported receiving extortion letters warning them to publish a specific article or face arson attacks on their offices. According to the Police National Security Department, he allegedly operated a website selling commemorative items to raise funds to support fugitives wanted under the national security law who have fled overseas, and backing campaigns urging foreign governments to sanction Hong Kong officials and judges. Authorities determined both the threats and website content potentially violated national security, prompting the National Security Department to take over the investigation. The suspect, surnamed Tse, was arrested in Fanling yesterday. A subsequent search of his residence uncovered computer files containing website images and data, along with detailed lists of local media organizations. After nearly 30 years defending Victoria Harbour, the advocacy group Society for Protection of the Harbour ceased operations yesterday. This follows controversial amendments to the Protection of the Harbour Ordinance in May, which SPH claims paved the way for large-scale reclamation. Anna Chen has more details.
Our decision to disband was made more than 1 year ago. We have told the public and to the news media and to the government that if they should pass the amendment ordinance, we should disband, because we were protecting the harbour with a very useful weapon, a legal weapon, the ordinance. Without the ordinance, we have nothing. We have nothing to protect the harbour with, and that is the main reason why we're disbanding.
The amended ordinance eliminates the key requirement for the government to demonstrate an overriding public need to courts before reclaiming harbour land. Final decisions now rest solely with the city leader by passing judicial oversight. Prior to the disbandment, Development Secretary Benedict Lin accused SPH of soft resistance for sharing simulated images of a field in harbour. Chu countered that the visuals depicted actual 1990s government plans.
The soft resistance that the secretary mentioned is due to her misunderstanding. We immediately wrote to the chief executive, Mr. Liu, and explained that this is not our invention. This is the government's doing. And there is no crime anywhere in the world for something like this, which is the truth, being told to the public. It cannot be an offense. How can it be soft resistance? We are telling the public the government's own plans. We never said that this is government's plan today. We say that this is an explanation of the government's plan that they submitted to the town planning board 30 years ago.
Founded in 1995, SPH successfully lobbied for the original 1997 ordinance, halting contentious projects like the 2003 Central Reclamation. The group notably acknowledged former Chief Executives Chong Chi-hua and Carrie Lam for their harbour conservation efforts. Anna Chan, Cable News.
Labour Lee officially took office as the new chief executive of the Hospital Authority today, pledging to enhance communication with staff and the community while exploring ways to reduce waiting times in specialist outpatient clinics. Evelyn Bai shares more.
Speaking to reporters, Lee noted that her priority is to improve communication with staff, aiming to incorporate more feedback from frontline employees.
For our staff, I really think that the staff are key cornerstones of the whole system, is the foundation of the system. So staff communications, staff training and development, and let them understand a bit more about the policy and our limitations and our challenges, and then invite them to collaborate and to cooperate together to provide services for our patient is the best way to inclusive team.
The new chief aims to create a speak-up culture among colleagues to promote better understanding and trust within the organization. Regarding long queues at public hospitals, Lee expressed her intention to leverage technology to streamline patient queuing processes in specialist outpatient clinics. Is it necessary to queue 4 times for the doctor, medicine, booking the next appointment, and an X-ray scan or a blood test? She asked, vowing to reduce unnecessary waiting. Lee also mentioned plans to consider extending general outpatient service hours, including evening consultations, to alleviate pressure on emergency services. However, she clarified that 24-hour service will not be implemented, as general outpatient visits typically do not have emergencies. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
The Health Bureau announced a major expansion of the chronic disease co-care pilot scheme, doubling its basic tier drug list from 59 to 114 medications. The new additions include treatments for depression, chronic hepatitis B, thyroid disorders, as well as medications for common syndromes like asthma, nausea, and dizziness. Under the scheme, participants pay nothing for any drugs on this government-funded list, which now serves as the foundation for a future community drug formulary. The expansion aims to give family doctors greater flexibility to address diverse clinical needs among patients managing long-term health conditions. Launched in November 2023, the CTCC targets Hong Kong residents aged 45 and above, not previously diagnosed with diabetes or hypertension. It provides subsidized screening and personalized treatment through a network of private family doctors. The program has drawn strong public response, with over 140,000 participants enrolled so far. Of the 85,000 who completed screenings, roughly 40% were diagnosed as having borderline diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, or related chronic conditions and received treatment. Mainland authorities have raised disaster response to level 3, the third highest tier, for storm-hit Hebei province, after a rain-triggered flood deprived 8 lives and caused 18 missing in a local county yesterday. Amid the devastation, rescue teams in Xinlong County, Chengde City are racing against time, navigating debris-choked rivers and extreme elevation changes. Local authorities report over 2,200 personnel mobilized to clear roads, deliver supplies, and search for survivors. Significant progress has been made restoring essential services like communications and power supply to local villages. The disaster stems from historic rainfall that battered northern China since July 23rd, with Beijing's Miwin district recording a staggering 573.5 mm rainfall, nearly its typical annual total, in just days. The resulting floods overwhelmed rivers, caused significant breaches, and led to catastrophic incidents like the drowning of 31 elderlies at a care home in Miwin district. Yet, even as recovery begins, meteorologists warn of renewed thunderstorms, with moderate to heavy rain forecast for Hebei starting today. The U.S. East Coast was hit by extreme weather as heavy thunderstorms brought flooding and travel disruptions from New York to Washington, D.C. At least one death has been reported in the storms. Anna Chen has the story.
Rain was pouring over a commuter train inside New York City's Grand Central Station. The city witnessed dramatic scenes as subway stations were inundated by water due to heavy rainstorms ahead of the arrival of Tropical Storm Elsa. Floodwater sipped through the walls of the 7th Avenue station. New York City officials warned that heavy rain could flood some streets, parts of the subway and basements, urging people living in basements to move to higher floors. Over 100 passengers were rescued from a stranded Long Island Railroad train near the Bayside station, which was stuck in rising floodwaters during rush hour. A state of emergency has been declared in New York City and New Jersey, with predicted intense rainfall reaching up to more than 7 centimeters an hour and even 12 to 20 centimeters in some isolated locations. Tornado warnings in New Jersey came and went with no reports of twisters, though more than 14,000 electricity customers were without power as of Thursday evening. Meanwhile, airports in New York, New Jersey, Washington, and Philadelphia all reported significant weather-related flight delays and cancellations. Anna Chen, Cable News.
2 key ports near the Panama Canal could be taken over by public-private partnerships if the courts invalidate a contract with Hong Kong-based CK Hutchison to operate them, Panama's President Jose Raul Mulino said. 2 suits were filed with the Supreme Court this week by Panama's Comptroller General's office, aiming to declare the agreement unconstitutional and to nullify the contract on the basis that renewal did not follow required legal steps. I do not at the moment see the continuation of the Panama Ports contract, amended or not, Mulino told a press conference. We will wait for the verdict, he added. The legal challenges which the contract is facing in Panama are adding troubles to a diplomatically sensitive plan from a consortium led by U.S. asset manager BlackRock to buy a large portion of CK Hutchison's global ports business. Panama's government is also seeing partnerships with the state as a solution for the operation of a key copper mine previously operated by Canada's First Quantum Minerals, whose contract was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in 2023. The idea is still a draft, covering the port and the mine through partnerships with the state, Mulino said. Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index dropped 265 points. Top active stocks of the day. Tencent was down $15. Alibaba was up $1.20. Xiaomi was up 25 cents, while InnoScience was up $13.60. On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers. Showers will increase gradually with squally thunderstorms tomorrow. Showers will be heavier in some areas. Temperatures will range between 27 and 31 degrees. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. And that's our news tonight. I'm Quentin Yang. Thank you for watching. Good night.